This interview with Josh and Jacob Wolf is brought to you by TomandDanWateringHoles.com.
Yeah, if you are looking for a lovely place to go and imbibe, have a libation, have a craft beer, have a craft cocktail, we got some places you should check out, like Wops Hops.
Yep.
Right there in Sanford. It was their first microbrewery. They offer amazing beers that you can check out.
Right across the street from our Air T&D, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
in
you're
Sanford.
right.
I mean, you can walk off the porch to Wops Hops.
You really
and
can.
They got karaoke, they got bingo there. They're doing things all throughout the week at Wops Hops.
Yeah, another one, and this one is more for the people out in Ocoee. You got Toll Road Brewing Company.
Yeah, downtown Ocoee.
Beautiful
delicious beers.
Great beers, man.
I know our buddy Joey goes out there all the time.
Yeah, Mike Aiello goes
Yeah.
out there. In fact, I think they even have a beer named after him.
Good craft seltzers, by the way. Don't sleep on that.
Yeah, check out all their stuff there. Hourglass, those are our main guys. They're always in here. They've made beers for us before. They have 2 tap rooms. You got the one right there in Longwood. You got the other one that is in the, what area is that? What do you even call that?
In Orlando, technically,
Yeah,
but
Orlando proper.
Their tap room, the Longwood location, gigantic, free arcade and pinball games,
Yeah.
by the way. So if you go there with your kids, have some delicious beers, let the kids play arcade and pinball games.
If you're looking for a date night and you want to go to like a really cool venue, take your wife, take your husband, take your boyfriend, whatever.
Yep.
Cafe Da Vinci is top of my list. The atmosphere there is really chill and really nice. You might want to wait till, like the evening and catch a concert under the stars. It's very romantic.
We released their schedule for August on our social media, and they constantly have really top-notch
Very
bands.
unique, yeah.
Really good bands come through there.
Sometimes you'll have bands that you're like, they're playing at Da Vinci? Yeah, they are. They book really good bands. Salty Sisters, that's our friend Tiffany. If you remember us from the Monsters, you remember Tiff from the Monsters. She went out with her band into Las Vegas. She conquered it and crushed the music scene. Came back, started her own bar and grill right there in Cocoa Beach. It's 24 North Brevard Avenue, and you can go there and eat a smash burger, and she'll probably be there working.
Yeah, a couple blocks from Coconuts. Also, Ailstone in Longwood. If you're there during the weekday, 50% off pizzas.
Yep.
So they get
Monday through Thursday,
and you can get swing by, get some delicious beers and seltzers.
Pizza, meatball sub, really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
And then continuing a little bit more Orlando, Johnny's Other Side, one of our first, if not our first sponsor. Johnny's, great hamburgers,
Awesome brunch on Saturday. Don't sleep on the brunch on Saturday.
Yeah,
their Sunday brunch is obviously famous, but they got Saturday brunch.
Yeah.
It's real good.
Slide in there and get something to eat. And then, of course, the crown jewel of Sanford, 2 bars, West End Trading Company. That's the beginning. And then the other end of the L is Celery City Craft Beer. And you can check out both those guys. Celery City.
Brand new courtyard.
It's really nice.
And sushi and soul there, so grab some sushi. Me and Daniel did that for Luca's funeral.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And then Tuffy's Bottle Shop and Lounge down the street in Sanford as well. They got their music box. And, of course, Mo's doing his comedy jam there.
A giant beer
September.
garden out there. They've got Suffering Bastard Tiki Bar inside. But, again, if you want to go to the Tiki Bar, you're going to have to get there early. It fills up.
Yeah, grab your tickets to that Mo's Comedy Jam, too, because it's really good. We went to the one last year. Me and Daniel are going to this year's Mo's Comedy Jam. So, great comedians.
We'll see you there.
And for charity for Yellow Brick Road. So, that's TomandDanWateringHoles.com. With us in studio, we were super excited that he brought his son here today because last time Josh was here, we were talking about working with your son and
we've
touring.
only had one other comedian child. This was a child. You're not a child. But, who was it that, remember he had his kids on the couch and they were watching like Mickey Mouse Club? It was crazy. And they were just
it was years ago.
Yeah, it was years ago.
That's
But they
hilarious.
just sat there on the couch and watching Mickey. They were the best kids in the world, but I can't remember who it was.
Did they also write about shitting in the bathroom on the wall?
Yeah. They did.
I pooped in here too.
Josh and Jacob Wolf are here.
Hey. Radio sound. Oh, it's broken. It's broken. Just like radio. Like radio.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Good,
Really,
man.
really good. We had 2 shows in Jacksonville last night.
Nice.
Thanks for driving down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it was an easy drive. It's basically whatever.
It's flat here.
Yeah, it's pretty flat.
It was easy for me. I slept. It was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So let's talk about so you flew into Jacksonville and then you drove down here.
Yeah. You know, we've been when I was traveling by myself. So Jacob has really been full time since the beginning of this year, right? And when I was by myself, I never rented a car because where the fuck am I going?
Yeah. You're
But-
just going to the city, going to the club, yeah.
We rent a car now everywhere we go and just go find some shit to do.
That's awesome.
I think that's
Yeah.
cool. That's
Yeah.
your dream, isn't it, Tom?
Well, we're a lot to get to because, traveling with my son and working with him and getting, it would be
Now,
my
this would
dream.
mean, as he's saying that, this would mean that one of his sons has died.
Right.
No, well,
Or
I
that he
imagine
picked the best one.
Or they abandoned
Or
one
they
to hang out
fought
with
each
them.
other for the chance to go on
They
the
went
trip.
Highlander?
I'm just
What
realistic.
if it was a trip? There could be only one,
Well,
and you got to fight to be with Daddy on the road
Well,
trip.
I imagine,
Which one,
working
Max
with
or
both
Tommy?
of them. Tommy would be probably the one that would agree to it.
Let
Max
me
is-
say, here's the deal. And people ask, you love your kids all the same, and I've told them a million times, you love your kids all the same. But if I could only bring one on vacation, I know who I'm bringing.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, just so you know, I want everybody to know he just indirectly called me his favorite kid.
No, I did not. I did not.
I didn't hear
That's
a name.
what I heard.
I never heard a name.
Thank you.
If I'm counsel,
true.
I
Thank
was
you.
like,
That's
you're,
right. I
you're
stayed-
projecting a bit. Or something. I don't know.
It has been, I'm going to tell you for real.
Okay.
I've been in here a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
we love you, man. We're and thank you again for doing this, man. We appreciate
100%.
it.
I honestly, when somebody said, "Do you want to do press in Orlando on Friday morning?" I flat out said no, and they were like, "Oh, it's with your guys." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come down for that."
We appreciate
There's
that.
no
man.
doubt in my mind. But I will say, so you've seen me through lots of different times in my career, and you guys know as well as anybody, this career is a bunch of hills and valleys.
Yeah.
But this caption, this little spot, this is the best time I've ever had in my life on the road.
It seems like it, and
it does.
just from listening to your guys' podcast and YouTube and the way.
Oh, and subscribe to the podcast.
Yeah.
It's called Hey Man with
Yes.
3 A's. Hey
Yeah.
Man.
It's a family show, and go and check it out. And you know what? It's a good listen because of the chemistry that you guys have and the fun that you're having.
Oh, thanks,
thanks,
man.
man.
You can
appreciate
hear
that.
it. You can hear it in the stories, and admittedly, I don't get to listen to a lot of podcasts
Yeah.
because we do this every day.
Right.
But do you guys ever get into it on there and fight it out?
Let me tell you what, and then you can
Yeah,
answer.
go ahead.
Let me tell you what is great about what's happening now. When we first started a while ago, he was still treating me like his dad. And he wasn't, his opinions weren't as strong. He wasn't as quick to, say some shit to me that you need to have in this relationship.
Yeah.
Right? In order for it to go. And so he's really, look, you can still tell we're still father and son, but the relationship has evolved where he feels comfortable now to be, if he thinks I'm doing something stupid or he doesn't agree or he wants to try to slide me down, he has no problem doing it.
Yeah, I mean, like, for me when I was younger, because we started this, originally Hey Man wasn't called Hey Man, it was called Boomer and the Old Man. So Boomer is my nickname that I've had since I was a child, and Old Man obviously was him.
Why is that obvious? Why?
Because there's only one of us only has gray hair and the other doesn't. So I mean,
That's not true. You picked a gray hair out of your head.
yeah, but like your head is primarily gray. So
One out of a million.
yeah. Like you try to pick a needle out of a haystack when there's a fucking full haystack of gray right next to me. Like,
Did you call me Haystack and Gray? By the way, not a terrible band name. Yeah,
Great name for a
Gray
band.
stack.
Gray Stack.
Gray stack. Where it's all gray.
Yeah.
I have that. I have that right here.
Dude, listen.
But-
if I didn't put that
Yeah.
color in my beard,
I
put-
am
he puts-
skateboarding David the Gnome. That's what I am. I'm Tom Bosley.
why you go karate?
Well, no, it's me on a skateboard. It's me on a skateboard. I didn't know. Obviously, you don't know your sign language, you idiot.
so
This is
fucking
me on a
funny.
skateboard.
Yeah, I thought you were going karate
I'm
pose.
such an athlete, I don't even know how to do the sign language for shit.
Dude, I like how you
Speaking
added.
of skateboards, Josh did ask
Good
what
segue.
happened
Good
to...
We
Great
said not
segue.
to bring it up anymore. That way,
He really does. This bothers him to the point. I'm sorry, I'm selling you out. He took it off yesterday, the sling, and he was like, "I'm going to the gym." and he couldn't make it.
Okay.
It hurts too bad. Did that go too far?
No,
Did I go too far?
No, it's just I embarrassed that I hurt myself on.
At least you can hurt yourself.
Tell him about your idea. Should guys his age be out there on the floaty skateboard?
All right. Well, I feel like that is a passive aggressive.
Are we talking?
I'm writing down floaty.
It is a one wheel, sir.
Yeah.
It's got Segway technology.
Is it the one wheel thing?
Jacob knows.
Yo,
see,
so that
He's
one
about
wheel
to
thing.
clown you, though.
No, I'm not. I'm with him because I worked
and
at.
then Jacob's with me.
At 40?
I worked at an LA Fitness when I was 19 years old for about 6 or 7 months, something like that. Worst job of my fucking life.
Tell him about the steam room.
I don't want to. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you worked at the LA Fitness that I worked at, there is a 10 out of 10 chance you've walked in on 2 dudes fucking in the steam room.
Really?
100%. You know why? Because it happened to me twice. And it's like near closing time too. I walk in, I'm like, yo, y'all gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, there's a dumpster around back, but not in my fucking gym. Like, fuck off. And this one dude came in one night, and he had that one wheel, and it was really like right when they first started to emerge. And I was like,
I think I'll ride this up there and get fucked.
You want to fuck me on my floaty skateboard?
And then he did this. He did that.
Yeah.
he said, you want to fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, hey, so how hard is riding that? And he goes, it's actually easier than you think. And I was like, bullshit, let me try it. And I literally got my 2 feet on it, and within 3 seconds I was on my ass. Like, I stood on it, and then it flew out from under me like a rocket
you saw
ship.
me,
It was
though.
so I was like, no, I'm good. Like, you can take that away. I don't want to fucking try that again.
If you saw me on one, would you be like, you're too old?
By the way, let's rephrase that. If I saw you trying to get on one, because you wouldn't, he wouldn't be able to get on one without him falling like I did. There's no chance. There's no chance.
Wowie.
Yeah.
Damn it, you should have brought it today. We could have tested it out.
Well, normally you have it in your truck.
Old man Tony Hawk still rides a skateboard.
Well, yeah, but that's fucking Tony Hawk.
Damn
I'm just
professional.
saying, there are old men.
You
that-
cannot compare yourself to
Are
Tony
you
Hawk.
somehow saying you're in line with
Tony Hawk?
Tony Hawk?
The
Yeah,
first
you witnessed
dude to
that. You
ever
saw
do a
that.
900 on a half pipe? Like, not a
He's
chance.
considered the America or North America or the world's greatest skateboarder.
I'm
dude.
just saying, old people do extreme things still.
Professionals.
Professionals,
Yeah.
exactly.
There's
That's the right
always
word.
some old vet who's like, I'm going to skydive. One more gun. And then they strap him to some like young guy and they fall.
Do you want to hear my favorite
funny.
old guy skydive story? So we were... I was touring with Larry the Cable Guy, and he was playing... He sold 53,000 tickets.
My God.
It's a nice Orlando connection, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to tour
We
with
knew
him.
him in radio when he would be up at the JRR
And
studios.
what a great guy.
wonderful person.
Well,
Yeah.
the
Great
show's
guy.
insane. That volume of people.
Well,
And
we
this
only
is
did...
before now.
We,
This is-
we only did one. This was for a special, but I will tell you, and it was at Cornhusker Stadium in Nebraska. Wow. And he would have sold more, except he had to find a place for the stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That is insane to me.
Right.
But I will tell you, it was weird because I went up first, and I would do a joke, and I would hear laughter, and I would go on to another joke, and then I would hear laughter at the beginning of the next joke because it took that long for the people that far away for their laughter to reach me.
What? Yes, because of the echo in the stadium.
It was
Me and
just-
Daniel, yeah.
That
It
must have
just
been a
took a
mind
little
fuck.
while for that. It took me a second. But so before Dan, Cable Guy, his name is Dan,
Yeah.
goes on, the bit was this. There was somebody skydiving in, dressed like him. He was going to voice over him coming down. The guy was going to land, run behind the stage, and Dan was going to come up.
Hold on, you did this.
Oh my fucking god!
I'm just going to remind you. Sorry.
Oh, it's a popular thing to do. It's your whole fake.
stop. Just stop.
All right.
So he jumps out of the plane, and we're watching, and then one of the dudes, and by the way, this is an older guy. This is his retirement jump. Never jumping again.
Did they choose the older guy because it was closer?
It looked more like Dan,
Yeah,
right?
okay. He's the body of an old man.
Right? And so he starts to fly in, and from behind the stage, you just hear somebody who's with the jump go, uh-oh. because the wind picked up.
Oh,
And he
no.
couldn't control the...
Yeah, the toggles.
And this dude, you could see, then I hear the person go, yeah, he's not going to make it. He was supposed to land on the field.
Right.
The wind blew him into the concrete stands.
Oh my god.
That's
He
dangerous.
broke his coccyx, busted up his ankle,
Oh my god.
but the show couldn't start until
got
he
the
made
stage.
it behind stage. So there, everyone was
mean,
going.
abandon the bed.
Everyone was going.
Come on, buddy. Lift
Dude,
your ass up here.
dude couldn't move.
He limped his way
Crowd surf him up.
backstage, and he fell down, and then Dan ran up. But it was pretty amazing.
When he crashed into the cement seats, did the
Everyone went,
crowd-
Oh, no. No one tried to catch him.
I bet you can pull it up on
Did we hear
YouTube.
the cable guy like limp out a little bit when he got?
Nah, dude, he's a professional.
No, I'm just saying. Just
No. Well, can I tell you something else
So
we did
funny.
that show? So Dan and I used to do this thing called.
Oh my god, this is my favorite.
We used to do this thing
This
called.
is my favorite thing.
What was the name of the band? I forget. It was a lip sync band.
Well, it was.
And we used to-
It was called Air something.
Air Disaster.
Air Disaster.
And so we used to go on stage at these arenas. Me, him, his trainer named Dave, who lives down here,
Holy shit! There actually is a video of
and
it.
Yeah,
a
I got
guy.
it.
Oh my god! I
Hold on.
can't wait to watch this.
Yeah, And a guy named Randy. Randy was his tour manager, and we would dress up and get in full wigs. We'd dress like a rock band. Dan got us guitars that didn't plug in, and we would set a set list as Air Disaster pre his shows. So we'd go on at like 4 into an empty arena, and we'd pick out a song list of 10 hard rock and roll songs, and air guitar and lip sync a full concert in front of nobody. And perform like
I like this a lot. There's a lot of wasted time, and I love wasted
like
time.
we would run to the side of the stage and be pointing up to. There's nobody in the stands. It's just people setting up chairs. And shit.
Do you know what my favorite part about the bit was? Is like they also had a drummer, but the dude never actually hit anything, and the guitars didn't have fucking strings. So you looked at the guitar, and there were just scratch marks from the pick under everything. Like I was like, "What the fuck
We
is
also-
happening
so
over here?"
just for fun.
Just for fun.
Just for fun.
So at this show, Dan, who loved doing Air Disaster, he was like, "Hey, let's see if we can do a couple Air Disaster songs at the end of the show. There's gonna be 53,000 people there." And I was like, "That's a fucking great idea."
It's a legit rock concert.
After
like,
the show, Reno Collier goes on stage and he introduces, "We got one more people. This is this new band that I've been repping, and they want to play a couple songs for you." And you know, he's making jokes about us, but making it sound serious.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Air Disaster." And we come out and they start to clap. And so, if they're paying attention, the guitars aren't plugged in. They did have strings, but the guitars aren't plugged in. And so we sing one Whitesnake song, one Journey song.
Okay.
I sing the Journey song, and he sings the Whitesnake song. At the end of the show, somebody said to me, "Hey, that Air Disaster band, they were really good. That one dude sounded just like Steve Perry." And I was like, "What?" And then we got a call. I was managed by the same people as Dan. We got a call from somebody who they were a fair in Pennsylvania, and they were like, "Can Air Disaster play at it's a fair?" And our manager thought it was a joke, and he was like, "Yeah, I guess." And they said they only played 2 songs at the concert. How many songs do they know? And our manager was like, "Every song ever written." All of them. They can play any song
They're amazing. They're autistic, and they know it.
They can
and
play
know everything.
whatever song you want them to play. They can play it and sound just like that band.
Yeah.
How did no one
I'm sure some people did. I'm sure.
I feel most people probably did, except the dudes who just didn't want to. I think it was like more of an in denial kind of thing. They were like, "That was real, right?"
Do people care now, though? We're in a weird spot, right? Where a lot of people don't care, right?
Well, look
They're
at
just, Am
TikTok.
I being entertained? I'm being entertained.
Yeah.
If you look at TikTok, a lot of people are being entertained. I see a lot of people, and there's this one woman who acts out a bunch of my stuff. I think her name's Meg Riley. I think she's on TikTok and Instagram. She's really funny and creative about. And it took me a little while to be like, are these people? But then I was like, it's flattery.
You're
It's
right.
really, they're not
flattering
stealing
to
your
me.
material
No,
because she's
no,
also
they're
like
not.
tagging you and
Yeah,
like discredit to who.
It's super flattering to me too. I'm like, oh, this is super cool that they're like, oh, this was funny enough. I'd like to act this out or whatever. And it's just different. You're right. Right now, it's just about, are you entertaining me?
Yeah, and it can be a hard pill, you know, if you spend a lot of time on something and cleverly craft something, and then somebody else is just like, I think the big one that I've been hearing this week, at least, is reaction videos. You know, like, where if you take something, you know, but in a weird way, you are taking somebody else's, you know, intellectual property, and you're reacting to it. You know, how much of that is you? How much of that is the original, you know?
We have reaction videos. He does reaction videos about jokes that I've told about him.
Yeah.
So he gets to tell his side of the story.
Yeah.
And those are really
Yeah, that was a whole
awesome.
bunch of fun.
Yeah.
But the reaction videos to me, and this is like Sam constantly calls me an old man because I scream about like new school YouTuber, social media entertainers.
Yeah, the casualness of it. You know, there's no performance.
It seems like they're not like the reaction video. It's not like they like crafted a joke for that particular video, like Bob Saget back in the America's Funniest Home Videos. It was just they were like, whoa, and then it's like, well, that's it. That's all you gave to me. You know, whoa. That's all.
It was a good one.
Coming from the guy that literally only says "whoa."
Yeah, but he was a guttural whoa.
Yes, it's Joey Lawrence.
You didn't write some joke. Oh, like at least Rob Dyrdek says some jokes.
Here, I'll ask him the real question we've been kicking around all week, and it's driving him crazy.
I love Dyrdek, by the way.
Oh, we do too. He's going to live to 117 million or something. He's saying now.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Beast, latest video. He's staying out at sea for 7 days. His problem with it is when he watches it, no problem with any of the guys. They seem like all great kids, right? Don't they? You look at them, you're like, oh, you're doing good stuff.
He's from what I hear, he's known to be one of the nicest people.
Yeah,
correct.
It does a
but
lot
his
of
cast
good,
of characters, it drives Tom and me too, but really drives you crazy. That the cast of characters is just his friends, and there's no showmanship. They're not trying to be funny. They're not attempting to even give.
Do you know what I think that is?
Yeah, please.
Okay. And I think, honestly, this platform, podcast, has really helped shape that, where it's not performative all the time. And sometimes you're really just listening to people's relationships. And it doesn't really matter what they're saying. You just like to watch how they interact.
Yep.
And so I think podcast has really opened that up a lot to where, is this a real reaction? Is this really just two dudes just talking and not having to do the soft shoe all the time? And I think the podcast has helped that.
No, I definitely agree. But audio form for me is the video form that weirds me out because I'm older and I'm like, you're on video, like you try harder. It's not just because podcast to me,
and
because
I think
we're
that's
old radio guys.
too. I think I'm that way too because you put me in when you were talking about the distance of your jokes and how you'd be finishing one and it would come back to you.
Yeah.
We have never told jokes, but we've had to announce in the Orlando City Stadium here or the Citrus Bowl, so we know what that feels like, and to be in that element, that disconnect, it's very. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm attempting to say.
I feel like
here.
the thing nowadays for especially YouTubers like that, and like, you look at like the Vlog Squad and all those kind of people like David Dobrik, people have been following for so long that what you see on that screen is the brand that they're looking for.
Yeah.
So like there's the one of Mr. Beast's guys, his name's Chandler. Chandler is not known to be the smartest dude out of the group, and so Chandler just being Chandler is what people are there to see. It's kind of the brand that they've built on it.
It's a personality. Yeah.
And so if they were to go do all the jokes on screen, they'd be like, well, that's not them. That's not what I'm here to watch. They want that strict authenticness out of them, and that's what Mr. Beast always gives, which I think is what people really like.
And like throughout generations of TV production, everything became so produced and so like everything followed a particular equation that you're supposed to do, and like I think this is the pendulum swinging back, and we're like, I want some more real to my content, and like I know my sons eat it up, and they'll sit there and watch it all day. And so it's like it's entertaining to them way more than any produced like 30-minute Disney cartoon or whatever the hell.
Like they hate Law and Order. I try to get them into the older episodes. They're like,
I fucking love
sexual assault. Man. This is salacious.
I fucking love Law and Order. I'm not gonna lie.
Bung, bung.
So fucking
Have you seen
good.
that trend where people are dancing to the opening song of Law and Order? It's pretty great.
It's pretty fucking funny.
Some people are really
It's
good at it.
pretty funny.
I would do it.
It's pretty funny.
I would love to see that.
So did you guys both go to Australia and New Zealand
Yeah.
together?
Yeah, it was a tour together.
Tell me about
Nice.
that tour, because I saw that was in January. And how many shows did you do in those two places?
We
We
did
did-
5 cities in Australia and
5?
Was it 4?
4.
Is it 4 and 4? 4 cities in Australia, 4 cities in New Zealand. It was outstanding. Look, to even come out to these shows in the States and to have this, this amount of people still come out, leave their house and come see us, it's humbling. We're grateful. Like the fact that we're on someone's list to come out and leave your house,
it's
get a
so crazy.
babysitter, like do all that shit just to come
Yeah.
see us is awesome. The fact that we were on the legit other side of the fucking planet. And
Yeah,
there
yeah.
were people there coming to see us or saw us on the side of the road and were like, hey, nice to see you guys. Can't believe you're here. It was astounding.
Yeah,
it was astounding.
super cool.
And so, did you take the time to see Australia, New Zealand? Did you build in some time to sightsee?
Yeah,
we only had time to sightsee in Australia in 2 cities. Sydney, we were there for 18 hours.
Yeah, there were some cities we were there for. We would land, show, next morning we flew out.
In
Gotcha.
Melbourne, we were there. We got to walk around for like half a day.
God, that city was
Amazing.
awesome.
But we were in Perth for too long.
Look, not much
I'm
there.
not gonna lie. People bag.
was
People,
great.
people
Perth
all
was
over
great, but
Australia
we-
bag on Perth. They're like, yeah, those people from Perth are crazy. I loved it. It wasn't
I will
like a.
change what I've been saying.
It was like it's one of the smaller cities that was in
Yeah.
Australia, and it's like.
We had a great time.
But
in
it was
Perth.
it was great.
We
I
had a
loved
great
it.
time. But if you were talking about places to sightsee, Perth is not the spot.
No, right, yeah,
not
yeah.
the spot. But we had a plate of meat in Perth. That's what my nickname was in high school. Plate of meat.
Wait, didn't we do the zoo in Perth?
Oh yeah, dude. Where that woman was like, "Don't get your fingers near that koala's mouth."
Yeah, they're
She's-
mean, right?
Well,
What'd she call her?
So we were sitting there, and he went up to go pet a baby koala.
Aw.
And I was like, yeah,
That's what you do.
Yeah, thank
fuck
you.
it, that's what you do.
It's a koala.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
so
It was
he's-
engineered for petting.
He was like, I'm gonna go try and pet it, and then he kind of a little baby koala. She turned and kind of looked at him, and the zookeeper was like, "Hey, be careful. She's very curious
She
with
said-
her mouth."
Yeah, and I was like, I had a girlfriend in high school. Like that.
he knows.
And he goes, "What does that mean?" And she goes, "Just be careful." And he goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Dad, she wants to bite you. Move your fucking
Yeah,
hand."
I was like, just say that.
yeah. Like, I was
Curious
like,
with the mouth. Curious mouth.
Curious with the mouth almost made me hard. So, can you tell me exactly what's going to happen?
I
here?
was like, look, if it's a kid, I understand you don't want to scare the kid and say, hey, he's going to bite you.
But I'm a
That's
grown
ass
fucking
man.
man.
Like,
Yeah.
just say she might bite
Yeah.
you. Move your fucking hand.
Like Mike Tyson being curious with his fists.
Because when she said curious with the mouth, I was like, what? And he said, gonna bite you. And I looked at her. I go, is that right? She was like, yeah, that's right. I'm like,
by the way, Mike Tyson also curious with his mouth.
that's true.
He did.
So yeah, it was
But
awesome.
it was amazing.
Oh, man.
It was amazing. And he's right. But as I get older and I did this, I'm more and more grateful for people who leave the house because to get a sitter and make a plan, that's a real situation.
We're there
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I mean,
Do you
we
know
know
what I
all
mean?
about that.
And
It's
so
terrible.
Also, who's on your list to leave your house to go see?
Maybe 4 people.
Yeah, it was
My
hard.
list is
down
very
there.
low, and
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got to see Celine Dion like 2 years ago before she got that stone disease, and she probably won't perform anymore. I'm not making a joke.
Her
That's
and,
like
her and Mick Mars should perform together.
Oh my god! You won't have to move your eyes.
They just wheel them around.
Yeah. But yeah, like Elton John, Billy Joel.
Yeah.
You're a music guy. Who would you want to see?
I know what his number one is.
Right now,
Rage Against the Machine.
without a doubt.
Okay, yeah.
I almost got to see them at Coachella, and then it got canceled, and they were like, "Yeah, we're coming back," and then they fucking dropped out.
Yeah,
I'm
they never
so
come
mad.
Not because they're my favorite, well, although they're pretty close.
Powerful band, yeah.
But I, they're the only ones left that are like. After I was bummed when Tom Petty died, not only because Tom Petty died, but because I was like, he was touring so much. I was like, I'll see him when he comes back. I'll see him when he comes back.
yeah.
And so I want to see Rage. I also want to see Rage while they still rage.
Right.
I don't want to see, Hem and Haw against the Machine.
They probably won't do it, right? Shuffle.
yeah.
They probably won't do it, right?
I don't want to do Shake My Fist up against the Machine.
I figure that's the type of band you got to like.
Yeah, gotta
when,
see 'em.
when you know. But if you're Zach De La Rocha, you got to be like, it doesn't look good anymore.
Yeah.
I'm pear shaped now. It's
Yeah,
not as,
dude.
when you're waddling around out there.
But I want, I'm also on a bit of a mushroom resurgence
Yeah, let's talk about that.
That was going to be the next thing I was going to talk to you about.
So every Friday night late show. So tonight, late show, I'll take mushrooms
okay.
And go on stage.
and go on stage. Yeah.
How much?
2.5 grams.
Okay, is that a lot? I don't know anything
So,
about
It's
mushrooms.
not a little.
So it's definitely not, like for me. If you like, it's closer to a macro dose than it is a micro dose.
not a
for
microdose.
sure.
It's
Like
not a microdose. It's
no,
not a-
no, no. Yeah, we did it last Friday in Pennsylvania. We were in Erie, Pennsylvania, and I do
With Lee
mushrooms
Syatt.
With Lee Syatt.
You know who Lee is? Lee was Joey Diaz's producer on Church and What's
yeah.
Happening
No.
Now.
He just started doing stand-up, right? Or not
Yo.
started?
We're
having
for
so
a
much
minute.
fun with Lee.
He's so fucking.
We're having so much
funny.
fun with Lee.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
god,
Yeah, yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But so
That's
and-
awesome.
And look, I don't do mushrooms and go on stage because I'm still so new to this. I do mushrooms on my own time though.
Yeah.
So after the show, I was like, yeah, sure, we could do some mushrooms.
Also, he's always said no to doing mushrooms with me.
Yes, yeah, because look, when,
Your sons always say no to. They're 7 and 8.
Pussies.
That's what I said. I was nude.
but for reasons like I've only ever done those kind of drugs with my friends, and
Right.
and we have a great father-son relationship. But at certain points, there's also a line.
Does
Just-
it blur it a little? Does it make it? Was it weird to think like, oh my god, I'm doing like drugs with my dad? or
No,
something?
because I mean, we legit talk about everything. I can't really think of one thing right now that I haven't told him. Like, if I
Nice.
ever do, I'll just tell him in front of people. Like, we'll be on stage, and I'll just be like, "Oh, did I tell you about that time?"
Yeah, it fucks me up.
yeah, that's bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Like, as a dad, I'm sorry,
Fucks
but
But
me
on
up.
stage, it's easier because you got the crowd, and then also Josh is your dad's
Yeah.
gonna take it.
I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
cry
yeah.
in front of the crowd.
There was a time we were on a live stream in front of like 1,200 people, and I was like, "Did I tell you about that time that I walked in on you and mom having sex?"
Oh, come on.
So we
No
did
prep.
that.
No heads up.
No, just
Yeah.
look, we talk legit about
Lord.
fucking everything. So the mushroom thing, I was more just like, yeah, I mean, why not? Like, it can't hurt. There's nothing that is going to happen in this that is going to tarnish the relationship that we have. And so we're sitting there and we were vibing, man. These are some good mushrooms. I remember the first time he took them, he was like,
Oh, I have some in my bag. Let me show you what they look like.
yeah.
All right.
So the first time he took them, he took a gram.
Oh, I
and
think we have to keep those off camera.
Well, it's fine.
That's
Yeah.
fine. As long as we're not taking
I mean,
Oh, okay.
these
and
are
you could blur them, I think.
Yeah.
these are regular mushrooms.
These
They're not,
are, shiitake mushrooms. It's fine.
But so
Taki.
the first time he took them, we went to Per Kreischer's tour, the Fully Loaded tour in Vegas.
Yes.
And I remember him taking like a gram and a half, 1.3, and he literally looks at me and goes, "Not a chance I could get on stage right now." And I was like, "No shit."
I like that he's honest.
Yeah, but then a week later he was like, "Well, I'm going to double it and see what happens." And then I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
There's a big
You're-
one.
I was like, "You're a crazy human
right.
being." And so
He just showed us his penis mushroom and a gun. And a gun.
hey, Dad,
Big
just,
Desert Eagle gold plated.
yeah, Dad, just so you know, your phone fell into the seat. You're never going to see it if you don't get it.
Yeah, gotta get that.
But so we're there in Erie, and we're all having a good time, and we're all sitting outside the hotel because we only had one show, and we're gonna all just go sit in our room and do nothing for 4 hours.
You gotta do something.
Yeah, so we sat outside, and look, this is the first time in my life that I've ever underestimated my drugs. And for those of you who do not do drugs or haven't done them in a while, when you underestimate your drugs, life is just gonna fucking punch you in the face. And so for the first time ever, I was sitting there uncomfortably high, like we were in the hotel room at this point, and I'm like hiding under the covers waiting for this to fucking end.
It's been a minute since I've had that, and
It's been
I
a
like
minute.
that.
That's
Me
a
too.
that's
I
a
like
young
that.
man's game.
You know I like that.
Waiting for it to end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember sitting
I'm
there.
not waiting for nothing to end.
I remember sitting there and we were watching Impractical Jokers, and no joke, every 30 seconds, whether they said something funny or not, this dude was crying and howling in his bed.
Oh, they're using the earpiece.
Yeah, and, just howling. And so I didn't want to kill the mood, and I'm like, obviously I know it's my dad, and I could tell him and be like, "Hey, don't freak out," but I'm freaking out, but I didn't want to bring it down.
Right.
And so about 3.5 hours went by, and I knew in my head, I was like, "Yo, just ride it out. You've done this with people before. You've been with people who freaked out. You can only ride it out. There is nothing you can do in that scenario." And so I did. And at about 3:30 in the morning, he wakes up and he goes, "Well, I thought I was tired." And I go, "Oh, I'm definitely not tired. I'm going to be fucking up until the sun rises." He goes, "You okay?" I go, "Not going to lie. First ever fucking panic over here." He goes, "Why didn't you say anything?" And I was like, "What else am I going to tell you? Like, you're going to tell me the same thing I told myself, which is ride it the fuck out. Like,
And by the way, thanks for not killing my buzz.
That's a good son. That's a good son you raised.
That's the big one for me. Is like I've seen people, and I've had my trip killed before.
Yeah.
Like on a more serious note, last time I did acid, my dog had a seizure. So nothing brings you back to earth faster. He was fine and everything was good, but nothing brings you back to earth faster than real life.
And it
You know
turns
what
out
I'm
the
saying?
dog didn't have a seizure. He did. It was just weird. He was shaking. And he
I was
didn't
seeing it through the dog eye.
Possible, yeah. So, but yeah, I was
That's
like, I don't want to kill the buzz.
I've enjoyed the mushrooms, man,
Okay.
because I'll tell you why. I've done almost everything as far as being on stage. And I'm not going to do it forever, mushrooms on stage, but I want to make sure I walk down every path. While I'm still doing this, I want to be like, yeah, I did that for a
Have you
little
done
bit.
the ayahuasca yet?
I have not, but I wouldn't do that on stage.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Shitting yourself, right? Like,
It's involuntary throwing up and shitting. Yo, that would be the craziest
By the
10-hour
way,
show of all time.
I think throwing up is always pretty involuntary. Well, no, sometimes you put your finger
sometimes you
in.
gotta pull the trigger.
Yeah. All right.
But it's never fun. It's always awful.
Well, you don't throw up, so I don't know how you would handle ayahuasca because this guy, he doesn't.
Wait, hold
do
on.
it.
What do you mean?
What do you mean you don't? You've never thrown up in your life?
Well, I went on a 14-year run.
True.
And
No
it-
puke streak.
No puke. He
doesn't do it.
Which is interesting. It's something genetic because my youngest son, Max, has it too. Terrified of throwing up. I'm
don't
not
like
terrified of it, but I just don't.
I hate it.
What broke the streak? What broke the streak?
I have some old chicken at Target. My wife, Bobby. She's like, I found
Found it
a
on
sale
sale.
at Target.
And then left it in her trunk for an hour.
Yeah, they cooked him I cooked him up a good old trunk stir fry.
By the way, you don't go. You know what you don't buy on sale?
Food, period.
Well, she-
you don't buy food on sale, period.
She's a vegetarian. She doesn't understand
Yeah.
meat.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I told her anyway that I didn't even understand what was happening. I puked standing up straight up.
Whoa!
like a nutcracker.
Because I had 14 years of not knowing how to puke.
Yeah,
And then I was like, "What's happening to me? Something's wrong." And then I was like, standing up.
Holy
And
I love
I
this
was
story.
so mad.
That's
14
amazing.
years. I could have gone now. That was like 5 years ago. I
And-
could have gone almost 20.
Any
Gotta
puke
restart the
since then?
streak.
Any puke since then?
No.
no, yeah,
Five.
it's been 5. But
in.
to get to 14, I'll be dead by then.
No, I puke I'm the opposite. I puke every morning, no matter what. Like, I get allergies.
Really?
And I'm like,
Really?
Do
and
you
I'm-
shit
yeah.
a lot more than usual?
There are no normal shits.
By the way,
Welcome to the doctor.
Hey, that doesn't bother
waking
me.
up and throwing up every morning, what a terrible way to start every day.
It's
Holy
terrible.
shit.
But when you look like me, yeah, that's what you look, you're like, yep, still there. Let's do this.
So back to the mushrooms. Okay, did you watch that Netflix documentary about mushrooms?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I watched that with my sons. By the way, I didn't realize.
I watched it on mushrooms.
That's probably interesting.
You get extra credit.
But
You were like,
You won.
they said something in it, and you were like, oh, that's happening right now.
That's what that is.
I watched it with my 8 and 9 year old sons because I'm like, this is science. Watch it with your old man. And I didn't understand. Like the guy was starting to get into the joys of eating mushrooms
Yeah.
and how awesome it is. And then so I was like, oh. But so everybody that microdoses mushrooms can't stop talking about how good it is.
Yes.
And then
Because they're addicted.
And
Because drugs are awesome. And it's like me with marijuana. It's like, like people are like,
Why were you doing it like this?
I just have to suck
Is that
dick
how
after
you
it.
take your weed?
Yeah. I suck it good.
Giant blunts.
No, I feel like
Hilarious. A guy told you once, this is how you get high.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like you smoke a bong not with your lips inside, but you put your whole mouth over the top.
I
of it.
I
hate
use the stupid
watching
little
that.
vapes. I hate the dumb vape. I use the dumb vapes. I hate them. The medical cards.
Yeah.
I wish I could do the blowtorch with the wax and the
No, you don't.
crumble.
No, you don't.
I want the crumble.
No, that's a dessert.
and then and then I feel like mushrooms got the same bad rap that like eating THC got back in the 90s, which was people are overdosing,
Oh, yeah.
eating
You ate
way
4
too much and then
brownies,
having
yeah.
a freak out. And
Yeah.
then so every story was like I ate 3 grams of mushrooms for the first time, and then I had a panic attack, and then my face was melting.
That was also
You know.
propaganda where the
Yes.
cops would come around in the dinner
Yeah.
programs and try and scare the shit out of kids to not do drugs.
Oh, when they
course,
would
yeah.
bring the drugs. Yeah, they did that. Did they do that for you guys? They did it in Florida where they
that-
bring a briefcase,
Yeah.
and then he'd open it and he'd take out real drugs. There'd be real drugs in the classroom.
This is so Florida.
And I,
Yeah,
it really is.
Fucking, and he did a bump. This is how you do coke.
Yeah.
And it would be like, he'd be like,
Now
dude,
don't do this, boys and girls.
he'd be like, this right here, this is some grade A crack right here.
And he had a PT Cruiser with rims on it.
I will tell you, I can tell you medicinally, for real, mushrooms have helped me more than anything mentally that I've ever taken in my life. I can tell you that mushrooms, since I started taking mushrooms, you know, I was as far as depression, an up and down dude. And mushrooms have knocked that out for me. I will tell you what else they did. I can think of two particular trips that helped me so much. One, I was having a day where I was just down, like down, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going into outer space tonight." This was in Nashville.
By the way, you and I have the same thought process. I'm sad. Drugs.
That's what they're
That's what they're for. I mean,
I was like, I'm going into outer space tonight. And I took these mushrooms and I was having a great time by myself upstairs. And then my brain did this to me. Said, "Hey man, how you feeling right now?" Checking in. And I was like, "I'm feeling great." And then my brain was like, "You know, this is the same brain you had earlier today when you thought you were a piece of shit. And what's the only difference? It's a change in your perspective." And I convinced myself that night, I'm in charge of that. I'm in charge of whether I feel like a piece of shit or I don't, but it's just a change in my brain. Same brain, same dude, just a different perspective. And so I never allowed, since that day, any kind of bad talk, call myself a piece of shit. Anytime I feel myself start to sink, I go, yeah, I don't want, this is my brain. My brain's not, the brain doesn't control me. I control the brain. It was a huge lesson. And I'll tell you another one mushrooms did for me. So I don't even take them anymore. And he can tell you, I used to take them after I got home from the club, and I would take them and I would trip by myself under my covers, and I would try to solve problems that I had, my own emotional problems.
Okay, I like that.
And one night, I was probably under the covers for like 30 minutes, and I was on this journey of whatever, and I came out from under the covers, and I said out loud, I want you to know I forgive you, and I hope you all can forgive me. And I came to a point where I was like, anybody who I'm holding a grudge against or any kind of ill will, this is dumb. Like, I'm wasting energy. So I just said out loud, I forgive you, and I was hoping that anybody who felt that way against me, and those two things changed my fucking life, dude. My whole perspective on things that I used to hold on to, or rabbit holes of bad or dark that I used to go down. It's just like my brain made a new path, and I just don't go down those other paths anymore.
I hear these stories all the time that are similar.
Isn't that like neuroplasticity?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. But it was.
I'm doing this right now with EMDR therapy. I'm basically doing the same thing, but minus the mushrooms. And I want the
Now,
mushrooms.
imagine doing it on
I hold the buzzer, and it's working. No, I swear to God, my wife this past week has told me, we just came back from an Atlanta vacation. She's like, well, you're a different guy. She's like, your confidence is coming back. You're more positive. And I'm fucked up from things. I'm trying to fix it. And the grudge thing is a big one for me because I'm bad about it. And it's wasted energy. And I'm really trying to. But I need the mushrooms.
Right?
I got to get the mushrooms.
Also, it makes it way more fun.
We should do
makes
something.
it way more fun.
And I'm pretty fun as it is, but I think I could be more fun.
We should do something together. We should do. I do like how you go into drugs doing this.
I left my top hat at home. Normally,
Well, I look at it as simple as there are like scientists and therapists using this for therapy now in multiple places with success and a track record of success. So it's like, it's not just a bunch of people that enjoy taking mushrooms and have their, it's like now we've got science behind this is beneficial for people.
I mean, they're there. But,
it's clinically working. Like it's legal right now in Colorado, and they're using it to treat schizophrenia.
Yeah,
like it's being used in clinical trials to treat so many schizophrenia. Like which I think is weird because
seems like a weird thing. To
I feel like I have schizophrenia when I'm on mushrooms.
My God, look at that guy.
I assume it's a microdose.
Yeah,
of,
yeah, yeah,
of
you're right,
it.
you're right,
So
you're right.
yeah, because like I feel like I have schizophrenia on a full dose of mushrooms because I'm seeing shit that's not there, and I get that. Like that freaks me out. But
Like extreme anger problems, PCP. We'll see what that does. But it's like there's so much evidence that is beneficial that it got me super curious to like at least start microdosing. My friends have given me microdose of like the pills I get from Colorado or California, and then but usually I'm not drinking and taking THC too. I just need to do just the mushrooms, and I just want to see
In
how
the
much-
morning.
In the morning, okay.
In the morning, I would do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just microdose. And at the end of the month, tell me where your mental's at.
And it just seems like it's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
and
I
there's
think
no
so.
downfall to it, really. It's not like people are getting addicted, even from that documentary and them talking about how the theory that humans' brains evolved faster, they believe, the theory being because we should have evolved way slower as far as our brains, but they think that, ancient humans were taking mushrooms and psilocybin,
Yes.
and it was like basically forming new pathways in their brain to think.
The chat room is forming a whole group of people to buy tickets and go see you guys tonight
Yes.
on mushrooms.
yeah, late show.
Come through,
It's
come
the late
through.
show, guys. If you're
Late
getting
show,
your
yeah,
tickets, I'm just telling Norm and the other. They're forming a whole. Like, see them. Like, where are we meeting? You know.
Yeah,
like,
I love
yeah,
that.
we love that.
We're meeting in the mushroom patch.
that could be something totally.
Yeah.
Bunch of fat guys laying on their backs. Fat guys. They're all sticking out. They're
mushroom
like,
patch
please
is
land
there."
on me, please.
What a weird carnival game that would be.
And we don't want to waste their time.
Yeah,
either.
no, I got one last question
Yeah.
for you because this fascinates me because you guys do challenges and you're constantly,
Are you still doing it?
Friendly tussle.
For
Yeah,
a
yeah.
minute, it was like so many challenges, and I'm like, they're
We have-
gonna kill each other.
We got 5 more coming out.
we got 5 more.
Hey.
One of them was boxing each other,
Yeah.
and I want to talk about not to bring up your loss, Josh, because and is that really? I mean,
Wow.
Oh, I wasn't
That's
close.
him trying to get you back for the one wheel.
I was thinking. That's what I was
For the
thinking.
floaty skateboard.
Yeah.
Talk about the
Floaty
grudge
skateboard.
thing. It's not me.
I just wondered about because I've been wrestling with my son since they were 2 and fighting with them and
That's not boxing,
and
sir.
teaching them how to.
They're
not
also
boxing, sir.
children,
Boxing is
8
an
and
art.
9.
Yeah. But and then so and we joke around about one day you're going to beat your old man,
Yes.
especially my son Max.
I'll
He's,
never forget the day I beat my dad's ass.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it.
But then
never
him
happened.
about it,
Never
yeah.
happened. Never happened.
But
Oh, didn't?
No, he ripped the door off and held me down. He held me by the throat because I cursed at him.
And for Jacob, I imagine
Don't try
easier to box your dad because your dad, you got that role. But
They have a
for
different
how hard-
relationship,
Josh,
too.
how hard was it to legitimately box your son? And tell me about the experience.
Okay. And then I'd like to hear your perspective also. Look,
I got my perspective.
I'm not throwing a full punch.
No,
Right.
neither of us were.
We're not full punching. So that was it. I'm not out there trying to hurt Jacob.
Yeah.
But I am trying to win.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that would be your.
Yeah, 100%. We going into it, we were both like, look, we're not going to actually. We're not throwing 100% punches, are we? And of course, we had a mutual agreement. But it's funny because we had a guy named Brendan Schaub, who's an ex-MMA fighter, come and be my coach. And during the interviews, you see it if you watch it on YouTube. He keeps telling me, he's like, "Yo, go for that body shot and rip through the body, like hit him as hard as you can." And I was like,
Smart.
Brendan, I'm not trying to make him shit himself on camera.
You got to hit the liver.
Yeah.
The liver punch.
But I will say, like, it was good for me because, like, look, as a kid, there's a certain point in time in every kid's life where you look at your parents and you go, I might kill you in your sleep. Like, fucking, like they're like something you said, like, tell me to take out the trash one more fucking time. Like, I'm gonna freak out. And so, I've had some anger built up over the years. So I got to.
It doesn't have to be rational either.
No, 100%. So I got to let out a little bit of that childhood, a little childhood anger, which was nice. But again, we didn't go into it knowing we were going to beat
Like
the
there
shit
was
out
no
of each
body
other.
shots. Nobody hit each other in the stomach.
But I did pepper your face, which sounds, by the way, sounds
dirty, but
yeah,
it
it
is.
sounds really dirty.
Yeah. No, I definitely got punched a couple times right in the face. And I wasn't in quite as good a shape as I thought I was going to be.
He told me
Really?
for
Because you've always been in good shape when
Look,
we've seen you.
he's in great shape.
An in shape 53-year-old is still not as in good a shape as an out of shape 26-year-old.
True.
But I'll tell you right now, he told me for 4 months leading up to this, because we had scheduled it for a long time because we were setting up all the challenges and whatnot.
Sure.
And he told me for 4 months leading up to it, he goes, I'm going to be in the best shape of my entire life when we get to box. He goes, you're going to be gassed. I'm going to run circles around you. You're not going to know what to do with me. You know what I did for 4 months leading up to it? Fucking nothing. Specifically to prove a point. I had a little. I developed a beer gut just for the sake of the look, to make sure that he knew. Hey
Peppered
man,
me.
there is nothing you could do that would have you beat me in this fight. It was great.
You know what the proof is to youth being on your side always is the Johnny Manziel documentary. The motherfucker would party the night before, get shit-faced drunk, and go out the next day and throw 3 touchdowns. VIP of the game.
was
It's
fine, yeah.
insane.
Dude, David Wells threw a perfect game. Nauseous and throwing up from boozing the night before.
What about the dude on the Pirates who threw a no-hitter on acid?
Fergie Jenkins? Was that
true.
Fergie Jenkins?
I forget who it is.
No, not
that may be
Fergie
wrong.
Jenkins. That wasn't Fergie Jenkins.
I can't remember
Whoever
who
it is, it's one of the craziest things I've ever
Legendary,
heard.
Yeah, yeah.
legendary
Doc
story.
Ellis.
Doc Ellis.
Ellis, thank you.
Ellis.
Of course, he has a name like Doc.
Yeah,
that
sounds
makes
like
sense.
whoever treated John Wilkes Booth's leg in the car.
Hilarious. It
Right?
does. Sounds like somebody who was in what was that movie with Emilio Estevez and
Mighty Ducks.
no the Western Young Guns.
Yeah.
Doc Ellis sounds like
I
a
love
guy.
Young Guns.
Yeah.
I love Young Guns. That was my westerns.
Oh, Josh, Jacob, thanks so much for coming in
Man,
today.
guys,
We
thank you.
really
we love
appreciate
you
it.
guys. Get your tickets, theimprovorlando.com. Snag them.
Yep, and they will be
Late
sold
show.
out. So yeah, go to the
Late
late
show,
show,
Mushroom,
show up, say
maybe.
what's up.
And check out.
Allegedly.
Listen, check out the podcast. I will tell you, it's
really good.
Yeah, and it's a ton of fun. And we really, I think, are really starting to. The more confident he gets, the more special it gets. And so it's been really. The last couple of weeks have been really fantastic.
Well, watching you guys is an inspiration to me. Having 2 sons that I wish, and I hope our relationship is as good as your.
I appreciate
your guys'
that, man.
relationship.
You're already fractured.
There's the boxing.
I would tell you, don't forget to have fun, but that sling already told me you had too much fun. So,
Now you're doing it. I'm just your old man. Now you. I knew you were together.
Did you tell your kids though? But don't worry, kids. This isn't the hand I jerk off with.
They don't know about that yet. They don't know about that yet.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right.
couple more years. Couple more years.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
it's
kind of.
close,
I mean, they're you're pulling the crank.
close.
I don't know. They're on the internet. They know.
My youngest told
yeah,
me
with
like,
today's internet, I mean, shit.
he's like, you and mom swizzled your tongues together. That's how you
Ew.
made our baby.
Swizzled? He said swizzled?
Did he get that word from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah, what the
He got it from Mr. Beast or some shit on YouTube.
Mr. Beast.
I'm not watching. Anyway,
I'm not watching.
Mr. Beast is like, remember, kids, your parents swizzle their tongues together.
Anyway, he just came up with it because he knew it had something to do with DNA and the tongue. Anyway,
Okay,
so we
all
didn't
right.
correct them because it's too early. Anyway,
Swizzle's great, though. I'm going to start using Swizzle.
TheImprovorlando.com to get your tickets. We'll see you on the Friday Free Show.
All right, thank you.
Later.